Welcome to Big Life Weekly Series, where we empower high achievers to break free from limits, unlock their natural potential, and live a big life. I'm your host, Robert Acosta, and each week we will explore the strategies, mindsets, and tools you need to thrive, not just in your professional career, but in every aspect of your life. Whether you're a leader looking for a better balanced life, an entrepreneur aiming for sustainable success, or someone ready to take the next step toward your best self, this podcast is your space to grow, reflect, and take action. Let's dive into today's episode. Hello, I'm Robert Acosta. I'm with Blake Allen from Stuffed Dog Digital in Phoenix, Arizona, USA. Welcome, Blake.
Thank you, Robert. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Glad to be here.
Oh, it's our pleasure. So let's jump right in and start showcasing your business. So Blake, can you give us a 90-second overview of what your business does and why you got into it?
Yeah, sure. So I guess the short of the long of it is that we do digital marketing, digital branding, and we do it in a way that's more customized, I think, than maybe some of the other agencies out there. So our focus is on doing bespoke, graphics, bespoke, creative for clients that are in the sports business. So we do a lot of work with college football teams. That's really the main part of our portfolio right now, and the work resonates. It's meant to be done in a way that creates a reaction and creates some excitement, and that's what we focus on. That's what we do best.
Okay, so how do you start doing this? I guess you're an athlete, or you?
Well, I used to be many years ago.
Okay.
But I was in the big agency space for years, and I just actually recently left that to kind of start my own business, which is what this is. And I played in college, so I've got some friends and old teammates that are still in the space, and naturally that was a good fit to be in. So I started building up the business there.
So you combine work and pleasure into one.
That's right.
That's great. So what do you enjoy most about your work in the digital marketing?
Yeah, I think the thing I enjoy most, I spent a career doing sales and business development is what we call it, just a fancy way of saying sales in the agency space. But I was always one that wanted to do the creative. I have an art background. I enjoy the arts. But I never was allowed to really, play with that much because I was always focused on being the suit. I always had to go get the new business. And what's nice now is I'm the one creating. I'm the lead, as far as the creative development and also the strategy of the agency. And I'm kind of wearing both hats, which I enjoy. So I think it's been really a blessing to be able to work with the people I do and to work with the clients that I have and be able to execute on the work that we're creating. I mean, it's been really great.
Yeah, it's great that through art and creative, you can create things that produce a business, right? So how do you define success in the work you do?
I think that's a good question. That success is defined many ways, especially in marketing. I think every agency's got their own ROI model. I mean, I've had one since I was, a young buck in the business, and the truth is that model is really subjective. It doesn't really speak to what actually success is. And for us, what success is one, if the clients are happy with the work and they enjoy it, and that we're creating some sort of buzz around the program, whether that's in social media or whether that's through the university. I think success for us is when there's seats, there's fans in the seats, and the team is got some excitement around it. And that seems to be it's not a very hard thing to do with college football, but it's something that we really pride ourselves on.
Yeah, I know. Success not always is a title or a number or even accolades, right? But the feeling you want or you get from success really is that freedom, impact, peace of mind. That's more important than the number of even the money, right?
Yeah, it can be. I think it's certainly a hard thing to define, but we certainly can do it. If asked. But the reality is we like to kind of push the creative boundaries as far as we can and see if we can't get some excitement that way.
Right. So I'm just curious, what is the biggest problem or challenge, let's say challenge, you see in your industry, in the digital marketing industry, and how are you solving that for yourself, your clients, your colleagues?
Sure. I think, I don't know, the biggest challenge maybe is the non-customized work, the things that you see out there that's kind of templated, that people are doing it because maybe they don't have the time to do it or they don't have the skill set to do it, but they're putting out content for a brand or a program that's templated, that's just not very unique. And that challenge is to take it past that. We offer a different side of that spectrum, which is it's very customized. It's very, it might take, the time that we put into the work, it might be greater than other agencies, but the work at the end of the day is better, and that means something. That means something to their fans. It means something to the, people that are involved in the program. And I think that's the way we're combating that challenge of over templated sort of branding within college football right now.
Yeah, so there's a tailor-made solution for every client. Yeah,
That's right.
specifically. So talking about that, who is your ideal client, and what significant outcomes can they expect when they work with you?
I think an ideal client for us would be anybody that's, again, within the sports arena. That's maybe even youth football. I'm working with a couple of youth programs right now, helping them with branding. High school and also collegiate. But really any brand out there that's looking to extend their brand itself, looking to kind of enhance it. And maybe they don't have the internal people to do it. Maybe they don't have the current brand that they're in love with. Maybe they need a upgrade. But anybody that's looking to kind of push the envelope a little bit about who they are and what they stand for and how they're presenting themselves to the market, that's where we come in, and that's what we do. So that would that's a very broad answer, I know, but it really when you get down to it, there's a lot of people that aren't wanting to do that. So it's finding the right fit for us that really makes a difference for us.
Yeah, well, there's more and more people jumping from having a job to being an entrepreneur, and then you have to be magically and instantaneously a guru in marketing, right? And in digital marketing, because that's the only way you can really reach to more people. So I know nowadays more people are actively seeking solutions to achieve better outcomes. So what makes you unique in the way you help them achieve those outcomes?
Well, again, I think the skill set is a big part of it. And I don't mean to pat myself on the back too hard, but myself and the creatives that are involved, there's a high level of skill. There's a level of creativity that I think just surpasses some other agencies that maybe are in the space. And I don't mean to say that they're not doing a great job. I just think that our team is very talented. And so when you have got talent and you mix that with drive and understanding of the brand and the strategy that's needed, I think you've got a good outcome. And that's kind of what we really pride ourselves on. How we separate ourselves from the pack is a mix of those components.
So really working in a team, because I guess there's no one person that knows everything and it's good at everything, right?
That's right. Yep.
So you work as a team with the talents of every member of the teams, and you provide the whole package to one client. I guess, right?
That's certainly true. And we have a strategy background, so coming from the business development side of it, there's a lot of shops that'll do the people that are involved are either on the account side or they're on the creative side. There's not really much synergy between the two as far as the end product, and we don't have that here. We don't have any walls built up that way. It's your strategy and creative, and working together. It's I think it's again a better outcome.
Yeah, at the end, I think I always say that any company is built with two departments. One is the one that sells, the people that sell, and then the other part is the people that support the sell people. That's it. And within that, and in both there has to be creativity. Yeah, both have to be very creative in the area. So I think that creativity is embedded in everyone that works in a company or whoever wants to really get a result, right?
That's right.
So why don't we share with us some, strange or the strangest or funniest incident that you have experienced while working in your digital marketing business?
Let's see. The strangest or the funniest moment?
Funniest or surprising.
You put me on the spot, Robert. I don't know if I've got one of the funniest things, I suppose, is working with college football programs and the teams, that there's a lot of young people involved. And I'm no longer a young man, Robert. Unfortunately, I don't know when that happened, but at some point I woke up and I'm no longer, in my 20s. And so working
by heart, yes.
That's right. And so a lot of my day-to-day contacts are, they're graduate students. They're 21, 22 years old. And so the communication, what I'm learning is a whole new set of language, a whole new language as far as how to talk to them and how to, communicate with that, that generation, and that is an ongoing kind of continual funny moment. Whenever I try to act cool or try to give them something that's maybe at their level, I get hard pushback. So it's continually keeping me on my toes.
Yeah, we have to learn new languages as new generations are coming. I just learned. I live in Toronto, Canada. I just learned just in my. I spoke with a person just today and say, in Toronto, T dot. So what? Yeah, young people say T dot. They say T dot to Toronto. It's the first time that I've heard that. Well, I'll say, well, it's young people. Young people have names, different names for different cities, and okay, I'll need to learn that somehow. So, what do you see as the common trends within your business or in your industry as a total, and how are you staying on top of that?
Sure, I think that well, AI is going to be the top one there. I mean, that's going to be the kind of the main topic for who knows how long, because it's a great tool as far as if you use it right, it does bring value. It brings value to the client side and also to the customer side, or and I think that as we progress with that, that's something that we need to keep an eye on as far as how it can continually benefit the work. The end of if it's not being done to benefit the work at the end of the day, then it's not something that we really need to invest too heavily in, as far as Stuff Dog is concerned. And so I think that's the trend that we just need to keep an eye on the most, as far as what that can do for us and the value we can bring for clients. I mean, the truth is that everything needs to be so customized now. That's what the market wants. They want it to be customized marketing. They want to be spoken to directly, whether that's in social media or email campaign, and AI can help with that. But it only to a point. I mean, it really does. It can really make things a little more muddy sometimes if you try to use it as the only solution. And so we're trying to find a good hybrid mix of that. I don't think we've got it figured out yet, but I think that it's something that we're staying abreast of, and we're making sure that we kind of know enough to be dangerous with it, I suppose.
Right. You still need that human touch, right,
Yeah.
in all you do, because we're working with humans, right?
That's right.
Right. So what advice, talking about this, the industry of digital marketing, I know it's growing and growing. More and more people are getting into this digital and helping others to do their job better with digital marketing. So what advice would you give to someone just starting within the digital marketing industry?
Sure. That's another great question. I think I've learned later in my career the importance of doing something that you love. And I know that's cheesy. That's probably a pretty common answer to that question, but it's so true in that I spent a lot of time in my 20s and 30s doing that suit and tie kind of stuff in the grind, and then that's great. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. It was a good experience. I learned a lot. I met a lot of great people, but at the end of the day, I had a feeling of just kind of I just wasn't doing something I loved. The money was great and that was all fine and well, but I missed, and I wanted to be creating something. I want to be doing something that can make a difference, and not just with I know that sounds cheesy with marketing, but it can. I think good creative can. Heck, I think good creative can save the world. And I think that that's the most important thing to think about as you're younger, getting into this business, is position yourself in a way that you are going to be doing something or working on a brand or whatever the skill set is, but doing something that you love to do. And if you do that, it's really not work. It's kind of the quality of my life is grown exponentially over the past couple of years just through Stuffed Dog, and that's a blessing, and it's been great. I wish I would have learned that maybe 10 years ago, but that's okay. That's the part of the story. So, but that would be my advice. Yeah, just make sure you find something you love to do. Yeah.
Yeah, and you mentioned meaning, and I think that's what I say about these generations. I don't know if between millennials and Zs, they are really driven by meaning, a little bit more than just money, and meaning means impact as well.
Yeah.
So in that way, I think they can find meaning in something they are passionate about, or the other way around. With something they are passionate, they can become a meaning, and that's more important than the money that you can make. So.
You nailed it. Passion that's a big part of our mantra here, and I think it should be a big part of everybody that's in the marketing space. If you don't have passion for the brand you're working on, if it's just a little bit, you're probably in the wrong space, because that's what it takes to do a good campaign, to do something creative that's going to resonate with people, the end users. So Yeah, passion. I think you nailed it. That's about everything.
Yeah, maybe with that passion, maybe you have answered that question already. But what is the biggest failure or a challenge that you faced to this point in your life, and how that has that shaped the way you do business now?
I think, gosh, that's another good one. I think that the biggest challenge I faced in my career has been maybe self growth. Maybe it's a thing of, maybe this is a more internally focused answer, but for the longest time I was doing a role that I was fairly good at, but I wasn't great at, and I think that showed later in my career as far as the sales stuff. My heart just wasn't in it, and eventually it kind of fizzled out because I no longer wanted to do it, and that was a challenge dealing with that, going through that every day of saying, I'm not in the place I want to be. I'm not doing the work I want to do. How do I fake it? And you just can't. You can't fake that kind of stuff. You can try, but it just doesn't net out very well. And I'm lucky that I was able to kind of pivot. It was a pretty major pivot, but I was lucky that I was able to do that into the kind of the creative space of working on it. But it was that was definitely a challenge, kind of learning to accept that and then kind of being able to move on from it.
And change, yeah, change.
Yeah.
So when you found that creativity as part of something that you like, at the same time, you would say in that moment that you were good at, so you were a creative person, or it was something that you needed to learn because you like it?
No, I've always been I studied art in college, and I've always been a fan of the arts, and charcoal is my medium of choice. So I draw quite a bit. Or I used to draw more, not as much anymore. But I've always had a passion for the arts, and to do to actually do it and create it. And so it's just a matter of time before I ended up having a shop that was creatively led by myself. So
yeah, so I think that that urge inside of every one of us that is telling you, this is me, this is what I want, but sometimes the conditions, the environment leads you to into a different path, but you're still hearing that voice. So maybe the message is, hear that voice, because eventually it's gonna eat you. So better earlier than later, right?
That's right.
Even though if you're scared, of course it's gonna be scary, because it's something that is gonna make you grow. So that's the only way you grow, when you do something that you like, or maybe you're passionate about, but maybe you don't know how to do it and you're scared because of that.
Yep. And I think it's a whole new set of learning too. I mean, I'm now having to kind of reset my career in a way that I really wanted to do, but I'm having to then reset my the mentor-mentoree thing. I'm having to learn from new people and listen to people that that I want to, and that I can get knowledge from. But 5-10 years ago, it would have been the other way around. People were coming to me for that kind of insight and stuff like that, and now it's kind of shifted, and I think it's great.
Sure. So talking about the future, what is the next growth area for you personally and for your business?
Oh, I'd like to, as far as personally, I think they're maybe one and the same, to be honest. And that's maybe a good thing, maybe a bad thing, but it's kind of I've kind of created a life of business and personal, kind of muddied them together a little bit. And I think that can be a healthy thing, to be honest. I know some people might disagree with that, but it for me anyway, it is. And I think that the thing I'm looking forward to with it is just to scale it, to grow it, to share it with more people, and to be able to get out and talk about it more, and to do more work that's shown, that's valued and stuff like that. So that would be that's something that I'm really looking forward to, and something that I'm looking to see grow. If that makes sense.
That will have an effect on your business as well. So
yeah.
It goes hand in hand, or there's something else that you would do for your business?
No, I think it's just about growth right now. I think we're in that mode of, we're trying to scale up, and we're trying to get more clients that want to work with us, that we want to work with. And so I think that's the focus that we're going to have probably for the next year at least, is scaling.
Scaling, yeah. Okay, so here comes a funny question. If you could have lunch with one person, living or dead, who would it be and why?
That's a good one. Well, I've always had a appreciation for Abraham Lincoln. He's one of our best presidents, and was a great leader and all that. But I think the most part of it, from what I've read and what I've understood about him, is he was a great storyteller. He was a man that was able to take a very, very difficult time of our country's history, and he was able to not only get his message across about how we can change it, but he was a man that kept people laughing and kept them engaged, and I think that's a good kind of representation of what we're trying to achieve, I guess, from a business level, is the storytelling and trying to get people to engage with our brands and our products. And so yeah, it'd be Abe Lincoln, and I'd like to see how tall he is too. I'd like to see if he's really as tall as people said he was.
Well, I would say that Abraham Lincoln was one of our best first marketers, because that's marketing, right? Telling a story. What is marketing? It's just telling a story. Of course, we want that story to be true. Sometimes it's not. Maybe it's fiction, but it's all about the story. The best products, the best companies are the ones that have the best stories. Not necessarily the best product, to be honest. And I've worked with a lot of companies with very good products, maybe not too good for many people. But if you have a great story, you're going to sell everything. So, and that's what you do. So it makes sense that you want to speak with Abraham Lincoln. That's great. So what is the best way for people to contact you if they'd like to work with you or discuss referral partnerships?
Sure, yeah, they can reach out to me directly. It's Blake@stuffdogdigital.com, or the website, stuffdogdigital.com. Yeah, that'd be the best and easiest way. You can find me anywhere, really, LinkedIn or Facebook, all the places. So I'm around.
Perfect. Okay, so this was amazing. I truly enjoyed our conversation. Thank you, Blake, so much for being a guest on the podcast.
Yeah, absolutely, Robert. I really enjoyed this. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining me on Big Life Weekly series. I hope today's episode gave you the insight, inspiration, and tools you need to move closer to the life you're meant to live. Remember, true success isn't just about what you achieve. It's about how you feel while you're achieving it. If you found value in our conversation, please subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with others who are ready to embrace their big life. Until next time, stay focused, keep growing, enjoy life, and break free.